Yo guys, Phase Shifter here and welcome to another video. So, Hexworks have just dropped this free content plan roadmap for 2023 Lords of the Fallen, and I thought it offered us some really interesting talking points. I know there's been a heap of discussion generated in the videos that I've been posting about various things, including builds, including previous patches, and I think this really ups the ante and raises some really interesting talking points and questions. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Now, aside from the ongoing weekly enhancements which the developers have committed themselves to, which include stability, performance, save game fixes, co-op and PvP improvements, and quality of life tweaks, the two areas in that top line that really interest me are the increased boss difficulty and the balancing, putting PvE as a priority. Bosses, I do feel, are quite easy by the most part compared to previous Souls-like games. I'm not sure if everyone feels the same, but this game feels a bit more like the trash mobs are more of a challenge in some cases than the bosses. I find myself dying more to that than a boss, so I think that's welcome. I feel like the bosses need to be more of a spectacle and feel like more of a challenge going into a boss arena, knowing what was waiting for you. And I don't really get that with this game, which is a shame. So I would like them to increase the difficulty and make bosses that little bit more challenging. Balancing and the PvE priority is also interesting, but I suppose they may be saying it like that because they've mentioned in the box next to it that there's also PvP focused improvements. But it's good to see that they are separating this out now. And if you look down in the currently in development section, they have mentioned split PvE and PvP balancing, which they've already mentioned in the previous patch notes, and I think that's a great welcome choice. Moving forward, we've already had the Halloween event and we've already had the mob density reduction, which were both really well received. I'm just looking at this as a whole now, and there's some really exciting stuff coming up. It's all free content as well, remember folks. I think that's really important to remember. When I first looked at this and saw spells pack and pack, I thought, oh no, here we go. We're going to have to start paying for bolt-ons, and that would be a massive turn-off for the game. But they've made it very clear this is free, so that's excellent. I'm looking, and the things that are interesting me the most here is the inventory expansion number 1 and the stash inventory expansion number 2. The inventory system in this game is absolutely terrible. So again, a very welcome change there. The other area of development that's really caught my eye in this is in the bottom right corner here, where we have New Game Plus modifiers. They referenced this in a previous developer update, I believe a couple of weeks ago, and haven't mentioned it since, but this is something that I was really hyped about when I heard them first mention it. They said that they want to add randomizers and things that would usually be contained within mods for the game, just within the base game, which I think is an absolutely fantastic idea. It's one of those things that increases the longevity of any game, and I really feel like a game like Lords of the Fallen, with randomizers, different seeds, I think they're called, that are usually presented to us through a mod, through the mod community, being in the base game is an absolute win for everybody involved. I don't know if anyone has a different opinion on that. Please do sound off in the comments if you do. We've also got some game-changing development items in here which are really piquing my interest. We've got new Spell Pack 1, new Spell Pack 2. We've got new Grievous Strikes. I'm really interested in those. I absolutely love the weight and the feel of the combat, and being able to perform different types of Grievous Strike will be right up my street. What do you think, folks? Also, additional secret boss weapon abilities. That sounds really interesting. I'm not going to spoiler people because I don't want to do that, but there are some weapons in this game, if you don't know them already, that if you have them combined together with certain setups, you can create different move sets by pairing them together. So keep your eye out for that. That really interests me. I think it's a really cool addition, and the fact that they're thinking about adding more additional secret weapon boss abilities is awesome. Without reading into things too much, the new spell packs have fire symbols on them. One looks like a picture of something radiant, one looks like a picture of something inferno based. I don't know if we can read into that too much. They might be doing umbral spells as well, but if we're taking it on face value, that just looks like radiant and inferno spells. I'm sure it's probably not the case. They probably just had to pick a picture for both, and they were the ones that stood out best. And then there's stuff for the more aesthetically inclined, if you will. We have Umbral Armor set and questline, Rogar Armor set and questline, and Radiant Armor set and questline, all there in development at the moment. That's absolutely brilliant. I love fashion and that kind of thing in these games, so I'm all for having the opportunity to diversify the way characters look. I really wish they'd make some more interesting looking small shields. I've got a bit of a an interest in creating builds with shields at the moment, and I would really like to be able to have a bit more of a range with those types of things. What do you think, folks? Of course, on top of that, just having new questline events to work with, as mentioned there, like the Halloween event, and also the quest lines to get this armor, just gives us more content to work with, folks. So there you have it, folks. A free content plan update from the devs of Lords of the Fallen. So a free content plan update from the devs for Lords of the Fallen. I'm feeling really positive about this. Don't know how you feel, folks. I know there's a lot of frustration in the community, and I absolutely understand where that frustration is coming from. What do you think about this? It's free. They've been really clear with us what they're going to be doing. They've covered most areas, if not all areas, I would say. And I know that a lot of people are frustrated with the kind of day-to-day, the ongoing weekly enhancements is probably more interesting to them than these kind of bigger numbers that they're putting down in the bottom section of this image. But what do you think, folks? Is this enough? Is this enough to keep you playing the game? I certainly feel like it is. I'm really enjoying myself. I'm unable to play anything else at the moment, if I'm totally honest. Lords of the Fallen's got me completely hooked. But what are your thoughts, folks? Sound off in the comments below. So, until the next one, take care of yourselves, be good to each other, and I will see you in the next one, guys.